Some people don't like change. Well, I guess a lot of people don't like change. Wait a minute. But maybe I should be more specific. People don't like change when they don't see all the benefits of the change. Sorry. Now what was I talking about? Oh, right. Change for the better when it brings something new and exciting. That's what people like. Hey, can you guys be quiet out there? I'm trying to do a video. Thank you. See these two pieces of bread? This one, it's not quite what it used to be. Surprisingly, it only took like 3 days to change this way. But games shouldn't take that long to change, and of course they don't. Games change at a pretty rapid pace. Kirby Air Ride is a game that came out for the GameCube in 2003. In the game, you race on wild air vehicles with Kirby on zany tracks, and there's also other modes like City Mode where you can battle other Kirbys. Suppose you never played this game before. If you haven't, you should, but just suppose you never played it. Since you haven't experienced the game before, everything you see and hear is new. The menu is new, the music is new, that's new, that's new, that's new. There's a steady change happening non-stop. Time passes and things in the game start to get familiar. There's not as much change happening as when you first started to play Kirby Air Ride. When I talk about change, I'm referring to the moments in a game when the player experiences new things, whether it be a new story element, a new enemy, a new level, a new environment, or anything for that matter. There are two basic ways that video games can introduce novelty. The first way is to explicitly introduce a new feature to the player. This is easy to identify. You may finish a level, for example, and unlock the next one. The new level would be the new feature. The second way to allow change is variation. For the purposes of game studies, variation means taking features that the player has already experienced and reorganizing them in a different way to make the gameplay new and unexpected. Let me give you an example. In this racing game, if I restart the race, the computer players are not going to act the same way as they did in the last race. Of course, this is to make it challenging for me. Along with that, the position of the cars on the road aren't always the same. In variation, sometimes outcomes are hidden until certain criteria are met. Such outcomes were always possible, they just didn't happen before. Multiplayer games are a free source of variation gameplay, because you never know when your opponent might do something unexpected. A human is way more complex than a program, of course. Changing just one thing about a game doesn't mean the whole experience will feel new. A developer can alter several aspects of a game without the players really sensing any significant difference. Nintendo released several Super Mario Bros. Titles within the past few years. Super Mario Bros. U, New Super Mario Bros. 2, and Super Luigi U, to be specific. I haven't played all these games. Actually, I've only played the New Super Mario Bros. U game. But they all have a very similar style, and therefore all seem like similar games to me. Because of that, I have a little desire to play the other editions, and I haven't. Of course, I'm judging the game by its presentation, but how many other potential customers will do the same thing? You can change the audio, the visuals, and even the mechanics of a game, and still, it can seem like nothing much has changed. But there is a way to alter these things and make it actually seem like a new experience. However, I'm not going to get into that in this video. Let's hop down a rabbit trail for a moment. If you want to break up monotony in a game, try changing the process of how things are done. Most video games follow a certain process over and over that the player uses to progress. Why don't you just change that up a bit? A change in process can fix problems that other types of changes can't fix. I haven't offered advice that's very practical yet, so here are some pointers on how to simply create change in your games. Let the player discover some things for themselves. You don't have to tell the player everything. Even if it's just little details, that's okay. Just make the experience pleasing. Randomize parts of the game, such as when and where objects appear, to add flavor to the experience, but make sure it doesn't frustrate the player. Put unexpected elements into your game. This can cause process change like I mentioned earlier. Remember, it'll add fun and surprise to the game when you intentionally shake up the normal procedure every once in a while. Don't get too excited, Kirby. I recommend that you read an article called Evaluating Game Mechanics for Depth by Mike Stout. It offers insight on how to add new things for the player to do, things that actually feel different rather than just new ideas that add no depth. And now for last week's poll. I had 4 replies, so I was excited about that. The games that were suggested that had a good balance of power and control were Grand Theft Auto, Dishonored, Flappy Birds, and Minecraft. I haven't played Dishonored, but I've seen the reviews. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto either. Actually, I haven't played Minecraft either, but I've heard about it and I know what it's about. The only one I played is Flappy Birds. All of these games have a good power and control balance, and I'm glad to see that the concept was understood. Thanks for participating. I want to challenge you to do something you've never done before, whether big or small. Take a photo and upload it to a sharing site like Facebook, and post the link in the comments on this video. I'll explore the results next week. Don't forget to shake things up a bit, and thanks for watching.